All right, controversial topic. You're going to not make some friends on this one. How important is a warm-up in Jiu Jitsu when it comes to injury mitigation? There's some people that love their warm-ups, and there's some people, especially when they get to purple belt level, that they always show up right when warm-ups end. So let's hear it.
Depends. Again.
Of course you toe that line.
Yeah, gotta be diplomatic about it. I would say I would say some sort of warm-up will be beneficial.
Yeah.
And what that warm-up looks like will also depend. So, for instance, you may be someone who needs to get your heart rate up and needs to do some jumping jacks, or needs to jog, or do some karaoke, or whatever.
Yeah.
You may, but that I don't think that's a one size fits all. I think that you can be someone who needs to warm up by just doing maybe some drills or some shrimping or some sport specific movements to get your joints loosened up, to get your heart rate up a little bit. So I think it'll look different depending on who you are and how experienced you are, and frankly, like your athleticism and age and all that kind of stuff. But I think a warm up to some degree is prudent.
Yeah.
Especially when you're going into combat like that.
Yeah, I agree. I always do some sort of a warm-up in our classes, but I do tailor it based on the environment. So I teach some classes that are all levels classes, where I might have brand new people in that have very little experience. And then I teach some that are advanced, where you need instructors' permission to go do it. And often in the advanced, we'll just flow roll for our warm-up, and we might do that for 10 or 15 minutes to kind of get warmed up, because everybody knows how to do it. In my all levels class, most of the people don't know how to do that. And so that's where we run, we do skips, we do butt kickers, we do stretches up and down the mat, also for usually about 10 minutes or so. And that, in either case, it gets our bodies physically warm, and it gets the people's mindset into jiu-jitsu mode. That's another area that I think the warm-up is beneficial, is getting you out of work mode, parent mode, stressed and thinking about other stuff mode, and focused on jiu-jitsu, because that's a big opportunity for injury. Is if I'm not fully focused on what is going on right now, then my opportunity to get hurt is a lot higher, I think. Generally speaking, I think that you should always try to go to practice, even if you're not feeling like, oh, my energy is a little low today, or I'm like a little bit stressed, or a little bit whatever. You should always try to go to practice. With the one, like over my almost 20 years, I could count on one hand the amount of times where I was like, you know what? I cannot focus on jiu-jitsu enough to keep myself safe today, so I'm going to sit out. Those are the only times I skip. And out of the thousands and thousands and thousands of practices, it's been probably 2 or 3 or 4 times that that's ever happened. But I think you need to also respect that too. If I can't pay attention to what I'm doing, I could hurt myself or somebody else in the class. Those are the only times that I advocate ever, not going.
I think it's understated of like the mental piece of it. Yeah. Like your physical, you could be in excellent shape, super athletic, young, but if your mental state is not in the right place, that probably has a bigger effect than sort of the physical part. So for sure, I agree with that.
Yeah. And part of the mental too is like, are you getting enough sleep? Is your nutrition at least reasonable, and you're not eating, your meals don't come from 7-Eleven most of the time, right? That's a big part of it too. So like, making sure that you're have enough rest and recovery, and that you can actually focus on what you're doing is a huge part of injury risk. I don't read a lot of white paper studies, but I do know that they exist that show, hey, if you are consistently getting less than X number of hours of sleep, your injury risk, regardless of your activity, goes up. And then I think it's if you're getting like 7 or 8 hours, you're at the lowest possible injury risk for what the studies are showing. And this is everything from athletes to industrial workers to whatever. So get your sleep, be healthier, stay out of his office.
That's right.
So
thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to our channel, and let us know what you'd like to see in future episodes. And lastly, make sure you check out our streaming website, ondemand.industrialstrengthgym.com, where we have full-length video episodes of the podcast and lots of other great content.